It has been nonstop fires for the valley and beyond this Wednesday and Thursday, and we continue to learn more about all of those fires across our area.
We've got team coverage for you tonight. Mike Staley is in Page County with the latest on the fires burning in both Page and Shenandoah County. But we begin tonight in West Virginia. Colby Johnson is in Grant County with the latest details on the fires in the Mountain State. Colby.
Yeah, Chelsea and Kayla, I'm here out at a Spring Run Trout Hatchery. It's about 15 minutes outside of Petersburg. And the Petersburg Fire Department has been here battling the Spring Run wildfire for the last 2 days. It says that fire, you can see a little bit of the smoke behind me, is about 600 acres in total size and has been about 50% contained. It's just one of the many fires that first responders across our West Virginia counties have been dealing with the last 2 days.
When we first got here yesterday, all this was pretty much fully evolved. We've got it controlled at this point. There is still some decent fire on the back side of each knoll here. We've got it controlled and in place by dozer roads and dozer lines.
The Petersburg Fire Department says after 2 days of fighting the fire, the worst of the Spring Run fire is behind us. So far, firefighters have kept it from damaging any buildings.
Our plan is to protect all the structures as we have been since yesterday afternoon. Let the fire burn down to those dozer roads to where we can actually get to and get it out, or hope that it burns itself out, and we'll just protect the structures until it does that.
Crews from multiple agencies in Grant County and surrounding areas have assisted the Petersburg Fire Department. The hope is to be able to pull crews out either tonight or tomorrow.
Within a few days, everything should be completely contained. We'll obviously have to watch it over probably the next 4 to 5 days up to a week. Come back and forth just to make sure it doesn't restart or get close to a structure.
Elsewhere in West Virginia, first responders in Hardy County are continuing to fight multiple fires. The Moores Run fire in Wardensville is being fought along a ridge line near the State Farm. The hope is to have that fire contained by the end of the night. Crews from multiple departments also continue to battle the Waits Run fire along mountainous terrain near Anderson Ridge. This is near the Pendleton-Hardy County line. There are also multiple small fires in Matthias. In Pendleton County, crews continue to battle 7 different wildfires, but there's been major progress today as all 7 fires are 100% contained. Crews have managed to protect all structures there as well, and no evacuations were necessary on Thursday. And the Petersburg Fire Department says people will likely continue to see smoke from these fires over the next week. It says there's nothing to be concerned about unless you see an actual flame or a fire that's threatening a structure. The fire department says that the most important thing is for people all across the region to refrain from burning anything until these dry conditions end. Working hard for you, Colby Johnson, WHSV.
All right, Colby, thank you.
Now your First Alert Traffic Update, sponsored by Rockingham Insurance.
Let's get a check on Interstate 81 this Wednesday evening. This is the view from the VDOT camera at mile marker 264 in Newmarket. No accidents or delays to tell you about, but you can see that smoke up in the mountains there. So officials closed many roads in Page County yesterday, but according to the Page County Emergency Communications Center, only 211 West over the Newmarket Mountain and Fort Valley Road are still closed.
Mike Staley is in Page County right now and has updates on those fires in the northern part of the valley. Mike.
Chelsea and Kayla, as the fires continue to burn here, many people were told last night to evacuate their homes. Now, some of those fires have been contained, but firefighters still have their hands full in Page County and Shenandoah counties. And now, according to the Virginia Department of Forestry's website, the fire on 211 West, the one behind me, is 2,000 acres and 0% contained. The Easty Rock Ridge fire is 700 acres and 0% contained as well. And the Serenity Ridge fire is 600 acres and is also 0% contained. And according to the Page County Fire EMS Facebook page, initial reports suggest that there are about 10 to 20 structures that were lost because of these fires. Now, firefighters in Shenandoah County are rerouting their efforts to here after 2 fires were contained today, but Shenandoah County firefighters still have their hands full, and it's all hands on deck here. Yesterday, folks were evacuated from the Coal Mine Road area in northern Shenandoah County. Earlier today, that fire was contained, and according to the Shenandoah County Fire Department's Facebook page, people living in that area can return home. According to the Virginia Department of Forestry, the fire impacted 100 acres, but no deaths have been reported. And according to SCFD, the fire destroyed 5 homes. The Crooked Run fire in southern Shenandoah County is also contained, and 100 acres was affected by this fire. Firefighters are still in the areas of these fires to prevent rekindling, but their efforts are now focused on the New Market Mountain, where the large fire concentrated in Page County is spreading into Shenandoah County. Now, this is the most up-to-date information we have. However, firefighters and other first responders are working around the clock to protect you. And so, as always, as we learn more information, we'll keep you updated on air and online with the latest details. Now working hard for you, Mike Staley, WHSV. All
right, Mike, thank you. And as we continue to cover fires across the area, we move to Burkton, where that fire is at an estimated 1,500 acres in size.
We have meteorologist Grant Coleman live in the studio to tell us more. Grant, what can you tell us about that fire and measures that are being taken to contain it?
Well, Chelsea and Kayla, we are just over a month into spring fire season here in the Valley, and Wednesday proved why outdoor fire safety this time of year is especially pertinent. Fueled by the high winds and large amount of dry air, Bergton quickly became one of the larger fires in the area. According to Rockingham County Fire Chief Jeremy Holloway, the Bergton fire is an estimated 1,500 acres, with firefighters creating a 2,000-acre containment line Wednesday to account for the high winds. They're also continuing to have lines around most structures, including a radio tower they own in the area. Virginia Department of Forestry State Forester Rob Farrell says the best thing people can do to help is to simply follow the burn ban.
Make sure folks know that, when they're preventing fires, they're not just protecting the forest and they're not just protecting homes, but they're also protecting our firefighters, Department of Forestry, wildland firefighters, as well as our partners in the local fire department. So if everyone can keep themselves safe, they'll help to keep our firefighters safe as well.
As for the Peak Mountain fire, it is an estimated 500 acres in size and about 30% contained. These are the latest updates we have as of this morning. And again, keep in mind, updates during a time like this can be scattered, as the main people we receive updates from are likely out helping to combat these fires. We will post any updates as soon as we receive them on WHSV.com. Working hard for you, Grant Coleman, WHSV.
All right, absolutely, Grant. Thank you. Well, staying in Rockingham County, one firefighter was injured yesterday during the response to the fires in our area.
Chief Holloway says he is currently in critical condition and is being treated at UVA. And in Augusta County, while the Swope Volunteer Fire Company was out responding to a call for a fallen tree, another tree fell and the driver could not avoid hitting it.
The Swope Fire Chief says the front windshield of the fire engine was damaged, and while it is still able to be used for service, the station has made calls to get the windshield replaced. He says he doesn't remember a day as busy as yesterday was.
Yesterday was one of the most busy days I've probably seen here at Swope Volunteer Fire Company. We ran a little over, 10 calls for service, all being fire calls and tree downs related to that aspect.
Swope responded to a few calls today, but overall the call volume has gone down, and the Swope Fire Chief says they are still monitoring the situation.
Staying in Augusta County, according to the Virginia Department of Forestry, as of 1 this afternoon, the Little Calf fire near Stokesville is burning 100 acres and is 0% contained.
Another fire in Augusta County resulted from a car crash yesterday. Olivia Whitehouse spoke with a woman who lives near the site of the crash and witnessed the fire start.
My son was getting ready to leave to go in town, and he and a friend of his, both actually coming from separate directions. One was behind the Jeep and my son was behind the dump truck, and they both witnessed the accident as it happened.
Virginia State Police have confirmed that the driver of the Jeep died at the scene of the crash along Little Calf Pasture Highway Wednesday afternoon. According to Augusta County Fire Rescue, the fire turned into a 100-plus acre mountain fire.
He came back up the drive and told me that there was what had happened and that there was a fire starting and it was headed this way.
Not long after, Laura Martlock says a fire truck and crew pulled into her driveway. She said she was worried the fire would come that way.
It was pretty scary. I have horses and dogs and cats. and we are surrounded by national forest.
Martlock says crews did a back burn between her house and the original fire. She says crews were concerned enough to bring bulldozers to her house and bulldozed a fire break around the home.
We watched it last night till about 1 a.m. You could see the fire going from 42 all the way across the tops of the ridges up to the very top of the mountain. It was quite extensive.
She says the wind was blowing from her house toward the fire, which was keeping it from reaching her house. And the back burns also helped. According to Martlock, as of Thursday, the fire is a ridge away from her house. Working hard for you, Olivia Whitehouse, WHSV.
Normally, 50+ degrees, low humidity, and no rain is what most would consider a perfect spring day.
But as we saw yesterday, when you add intense winds to the equation, conditions can become seriously dangerous.
Join Noah Harrison and meteorologist Cody Barnhart tomorrow morning at 5 and 6 on Daybreak as they break down the data and give us more insight into how the weather conditions sparked the vast amount of fire and damage in the area.
And as we've been monitoring the response to these fires, we've been also keeping track of power outages across our area.
Shenandoah Valley Electric Cooperative says Augusta County is down to just 4 customers without power. In Rockingham County, just over 500 customers are still without power. In Page County, still seeing about 400 customers without power. And in Shenandoah County, still just over 100.
Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowitz. The winds not as strong as they were yesterday, Aubrey, thankfully, but we are still dealing with a breeze out there.
That's right. We do still have a breeze, and a lot of that breeze is kind of a little stronger across some of the ridge tops, which is exactly where a lot of our fires are, much lighter in some of the lower valleys. So I want to show you the winds right now. They are coming in out of the northwest, sustained anywhere from 5-10 to about 15 miles an hour. We do have some higher gusts across the ridge tops. Winds will continue out of the northwest tonight. So that means smoke is basically going to be dragged same direction as it was today, from west to east. But we will have a wind shift for tonight, and I'll show you that with a smoke forecast coming up a little later in the show. But I want to review yesterday. What made yesterday so different? We have high wind days. We have numerous high wind days. We also have low humidity on a lot of those days. And the big difference was yesterday, not just the high winds, and apparently this graphic did not save, but this is kind of an idea of some of those strong wind gusts across the area, anywhere from 40 to 45, 50, 60, even 77 miles an hour. Those were some of our peak wind gusts from yesterday, but it was more so the combination of the winds with the extreme low humidity and the amount of dry fuels across the area. Humidity values around and below even 20% in the afternoon, and that was the big difference with yesterday, was the very dry air and a lot of dry fuels. Keep in mind, we're still kind of trying to come back from last year's drought, so we have a lot of debris across a lot of our forests. I'll show you the smoke forecast and when we'll get some rain in the area. That's all coming up.